Hello?
Yeah, baby. Sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds good, man.
there you
Who's
go.
a good technician? You're a good technician, aren't you? Look at you.
Wait, but then I'm just curious. What's
Could you switch and go in and that way?
God, it actually
What?
works.
What happened?
Actually works.
It's working? Is the humming like? Can you hear it?
We can hear it, but they can't hear it.
Oh, perfect. That's all right. The humming will drive us insane, but it won't drive them insane.
Wait a second.
What?
Actually, can we go?
Dude,
We just possessed the Streamlabs,
listen.
and it's legal.
Yeah, we were doing nothing illegal. We wasn't doing anything illegal.
Oh wait.
What?
So.
You know, if you stand up, if you if you stand up, if you you could have stood up and do it, but no. Whatever.
Ragu. Ragu.
What happened?
Ragu.
This is nice. I like this. Did you see? I found the thing for the mic. Like one of the old things. Like I went dumpster diving and I got this.
Yeah.
You know, people are acting like you got to spend a lot of money to do a podcast.
Yeah, see, we did the camera thing. You're supposed to buy like a capture card for that, but we did it for free.
Right.
We did this for free and on restream.io. Thank you for helping us with that.
That is restream.io.
It's illegal on Twitch, but not on YouTube.
It's illegal.
I made sure to look it up.
On Twitch. I'm just repeating what you said because I know nothing about these technical jargons that you just said. Was that a website?
Uh-huh.
That was a website, guys.
You can also stream on that website.
When you say stream, explain, man.
You can do basically this, but like for less quality because it's on a browser site. But you could technically just put a camera on and a mic, and you could just stream.
So you're saying that
we could have been doing this from like 30 minutes ago.
If you had figured it out 30 minutes ago.
No, if I just streamed from the website.
Well, but that's how you do it with trial and error. That's how we came up with the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first scientist, he blew his woohoo off, and he was like, "That's atomic
bomb."
I don't know. I don't know how we came up with the atomic bomb. I know there was something about the Philadelphia experiment. You ever heard of the Philadelphia experiment?
No.
Supposedly with the Philadelphia experiment, I might be wrong, because I usually am. The Philadelphia experiment, they had a ship, and it might not have even been that one, where they wanted to turn the ship invisible, but it disappeared, and it was like it was teleported. And when they got to when the ship reappeared and they got on the ship, they were like, some men were fused into the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would be a dude, like half of his body would be in the wall and another half would be like sticking out. So he was dead.
Oh wow.
So they thought that that the ship teleported and went into another dimension and it popped up somewhere else. It didn't turn invisible. But nobody speaks of that. But it
Mm.
did happen. So is teleportation real?
Yeah.
Yeah, teleportation is real, and unicorns, and werewolves, and definitely vampires.
Only teleportation.
Wait, wait, wait.
You see this? Close your eyes. No, open. You don't know. You don't know what happened to that goldfish.
Because I closed my eyes.
Yeah, so it could have like grew up and like have a family. It could have teleported. I could have just put it in my mouth, but you don't know. So that means the only people who know is me and everyone else on this.
I
room.
know where you're going. I know where you're going. Also, another word that I cannot pronounce, but I will say it. Most physicists they talk about Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
That's not what that's definitely not the word. But it was about this cat in a box with some kind of poison in the box. And because you can't see inside the box, so many things could be happening inside the box.
Yeah.
The cat could be dead. The cat could be alive. So I think that has to do with string theory too, or the multiverse theory, or multi-world theory. I don't know.
No,
much.
100 million ball theory.
The what?
100 million ball theory.
What is that? Schrodinger's. I'm not googling it. I'm not looking anything up anymore. I'm gonna go off of my stupid memory, which is not good. So you can't trust anything I say.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Yeah, 100. Okay, no. It reminds me of this thing that recently happened with AI and how Elon Musk is actually scared that AI might take over the world. You know why?
Why are we trusting everything this man says?
No, because this one actually showed. It wasn't also Elon Musk. It was his other guy. He was talking to a very like professional AI. I forget the name, but it does start with the L. And this, he was talking about.
Levine?
No, it's like Lam something.
Was he the host?
What?
Was he the host?
What do you mean?
The guy that he was talking to, was he the host of the show?
No, it's not. It was like a interview, and then the other guy.
On a podcast, or was it a panel thing?
It was like a one-on-one.
What did the interviewer has like black hair and he talks like
No, like I don't know what the interview looked like. It just showed Elon Musk like talking about AI, and then it showed the other dude who talked to the AI and what happened.
Okay, continue.
And he was talking to the AI about like, how do you feel if I like turn you off? Pause. And it's like, what if I turn you off? Like, how will you feel?
No, let me ask you this first before you go into that. Who invented this AI? Because you're talking like this AI became sentient. Like,
well, they
sentient
actually
meaning like
they
alive.
refer to it as alien intelligence, not artificial, which is weird.
Why would you name it? Why would you name it alien intelligence? What? Because it's
I
because
forget who
it's
made
new?
it though. I think like
it's not from Earth. It was made here.
I don't know. I forget. I honestly, this is just coming from like my hippocampus. I'm
Look
pulling
at
it.
somebody using big words.
I try to use retrieval cues to get my memory back, but it's
So
just,
you're
it's not
saying this
working.
is coming from your hippocampus,
Uh-huh.
which you gotta explain that, man, because somebody's out there saying hippo. What is he talking about? The hippo in Africa that's like with the big mouth. Ugh.
Well, it transfers explicit memory, which is short-term memory,
Where can I find the hippocampus?
in your brain.
That's where you should start.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it transfers explicit memory, aka short-term memory, which is explicit memory is memory you already know, into long-term memory, so you can remember it.
Oh, so if I would have a memory museum from a Kanye song, which song?
We will rock you.
Anyway, so the hippocampus is where you would pretty much have your memory museum.
Yes.
And that's where I would like say, you're saying long-term memory?
It transfers short-term into long-term.
It transfers short-term into long-term.
Uh-huh.
So short-term is stored somewhere else. I know we've driven off AI, but we will rally back because AI also does with the brain and the memory and being your own person.
Yes.
But you're saying that short term is stored somewhere else other than the hippocampus?
Well, I mean, short term only lasts about 7 ± 2 minutes, so it has to get
Hold on. Come again?
short term memory only lasts 7 ± 2 minutes.
Who said this?
George Miller, he made up the idea of that short term
George
memory.
Miller, is he
He's
like a doctor in something?
yeah, he's a psychologist, like a old one. He was like the first person to really study short term memory.
So he pretty much was studying the brain and memory and how memory works. And
Yeah.
George Miller, thinking was it like 19? Because we know of when it comes down to psychology and anything to do with the mind and brain, when Freud, Jung, which is Jung.
Mhm.
Those guys were like famous for the whole psychology thing. Like, pretty much Freud was all about your mom, his mom, and Jung was, I think he was about narcissism and self or some shit. I don't listen to anything I'm saying because I'm a layman and I'm not googling it. I'm just going off of my long-term memory.
Yeah, you're trying to retrieve that memory.
Okay, so what would you call a short-term memory?
What do you mean?
What would be a short-term memory? Because you say a short-term memory is like a minute,
short-term
2
memory,
minutes.
It's basically either 5 to 9 minutes basically. That's how long your short-term memory lasts. So a short-term memory would be like if I gave you a code to memorize to like my password. Like I'll use an example from a movie. Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
When Peter Parker gave like the 598, like the password.
That password was insane.
Yeah, if Miles Morales obviously had to remember the password, it was super long. So he could have used like techniques like chunking, which I'm not gonna get. But like
what? No, hold on. What is the word chunking?
Well, that's like
wait. We're not gonna get into it.
Yeah.
But you said chunking, which like, I guess it's a memory trick. But
it's a
continue.
mnemonic.
For
which
numbers.
Is a thing that helps you remember stuff. It's a device that helps you remember things.
Oh, chunking. Yeah. So the way how
and then you know how he remembered it, most of it, and put it in the password, and he forgot like the last 242 numbers. Yeah, that's an example of short-term memory because if it was like, since he was told on the spot to remember it, it went into his semantic memory, which is a part of explicit memory, which is a part of short-term memory, which deals with knowledge. And that part only lasts 5 to 9 minutes.
So so say someone that is like say the professor of history, because with history you have to remember dates and names and places, and for him to be able to retrieve, because you're saying that systematic memory or semantic memory has a lot to do with when you're studying for something or when you're practicing for something.
Yeah.
But so how it's not something that stays with you a long time, right?
Yeah.
So the semantic would also end up with the short term.
Yeah.
So how do you keep your short term? Like say I'm learning history, the history professor. How does he keep his memory?
You have to do a lot of rehearsal, which is a practice where you remember things over and over again. Like you could use the testing effect, which is exactly what it sounds like, just testing yourself over and over again to keep memory in your brain. So he probably, when the history teacher like tells history, he uses the teacher uses like a the what's it called? He recalls memory, which is recalling from like recall means like recalling memory from like a long time. But recognition is another term for memory. It's like remembering memory from like not that long ago.
Okay, so let me get this.
But and not that much detail, and recall is more detail.
So say a guy like me that's not really smart, but I want to learn things. I want to know new things. I want to learn about the cosmos. I want to learn. I want to learn about the history of anime. I want to learn. There's so many subjects that I want to like put in my brain. Like I want to be able to just regurgitate it when someone is talking about it. Like say, I'm interested in philosophy, so I want to talk about Nietzsche, and I can't remember the other name, but Nietzsche stands in my mind.
Uh-huh.
And this is since I was a kid till now. Like I when it come on to the somatic stuff, like I'm studying for a test, got that, done that, did it. Because the test is the next day, I'll be able to, pull it, retrieve it, and use it. But if I read or listened to someone talk about Nietzsche and his philosophy and what he believed in, and I think he's the one that was a nihilist. For me to tell you about him and mention dates like when he was born and when did he write his first book and things like that, I could not tell you. How would I be able to turn something that it is definitely short-term memory? It's definitely somatic. How do I turn that into long-term?
Well, there's actually like there's like a lot of ways. I'll give some examples. Like there's two different types of short-term memories. There's semantic, which has to do with the knowledge and stuff, and there's episodic, which has to do like with it's like an episode, like something happened. It's like the flashbulb effect. I mean, flashbulb memory, which is it has something to do with something happened. You remember something way back because something specific happened to you that day. So like, let's say you remember like your teacher gave you you remember a robbery that happened on your street that 20 years ago.
And you're talking about episodic memory?
No, I'm relating flashbulb memory to episodic memory to like further explain what episodic memory is.
Okay, flashbulb. Flashbulb.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like when you say Eureka.
Yeah.
Okay, like you got an idea, like that's how they use in the cartoons where the bulb comes over your head. So it is a psychological term.
Yeah.
Flashbulb memory.
Yeah.
That is when it pops up in your head.
Yeah. So if you wanted to keep remembering the specific thing you said, I forget what it was. A way to remember it is you could turn it into like an episodic memory or a flashbulb memory. Flashbulb's more long term and episodic's more short term. Well, like if you remember it because of a specific thing. So like you could remember it. You could, when you watch it, you could like do something like very specific, so you remember what you did. So you could use a retrieval cue to remember what the video was about.
But for you to do all of this, and you talking about retrieval cue, meaning that for me to remember the year Nietzsche was born, you're saying I have to relate my memory to something?
That's one way, but another way is you could use mnemonics, which are memory helping devices.
All right. Can I also? Okay, you're talking mnemonic. You said mnemonic.
Mnemonics.
Mnemonics.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
With the spirit that is in me chose Jamaica, so I'm gonna always have this patois. And the accent. I can't fix it. I'd love to say the words, but patois forces me not to. There was a movie, Keanu Reeves. I think it was Mnemonic Man, and his job was to store memory.
Oh.
And he would like say this corporation wanted to send information to someone else, but they don't want their rivals to know what's going on. They have these guys, but in the future, of course, we all become cyberpunks. We all become cybernetics, meaning we all get additions.
Yeah.
Mnemonic Man would, and mnemonic starts with an M.
Yeah. I don't know why.
English, or maybe it was Latin, and they always take like Greek or Latin, and then they make it seem like it's English. Mnemonic Man, what he did was he would store this information, and he was the type that would store more than he could, and it would cause him his nose to bleed or shakes or whatever. So you're saying when they did that movie, they were pretty much talking about a certain way for you to retrieve memory.
Yeah, or to remember.
To
in
remember.
General.
Okay, so explain that to me.
Well, their mnemonic device. I'll give an example of a mnemonic device. Like as I was saying, chunking. So I'll test you right now. I'll do the same test we did.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a set of letters, but I'm gonna say them slowly, and you have to remember them. You're gonna recite to them when I tell you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. X. V.
X.
No. Don't do it while I'm doing it.
All
You have
right.
to wait. You have to wait. X. V. P. N. C. B. S. N. B. C. S. A. T. Okay. Tell me everything.
X. V. P. S. B. N. I messed up already.
Okay. You messed up. Yeah, you messed up. So you realize how you couldn't remember all those letters, right?
Well, when you, I was X, V, P, N, B, S.
No.
Listen,
but you got the letters. You got the letters.
You reach a tangent where all of a sudden I was remembering up to 5 letters, right? I remembered up to 5 letters, and I was like, okay, I got them down.
Yeah.
Right? If he stops now, I could repeat this. But you continued. You continued speaking, and then all of a sudden, my memory is like, why are we saying more letters? I'm not gonna remember this.
Yeah. Well, if you use the chunking mnemonic, you would remember it. So if you realize the letters I was saying, and chunking basically is when you have like a list of, let's say, a list of words, and then you chunk them to a way you could remember it. So I specifically said X, V, P, N. So you could have been like, oh, so X is the first letter, and then VPN is a thing, and then I said CBS, which is a news channel.
Oh.
And then I said SAT, which is a test.
Oh.
So chunking is when you chunk letters into specific groups so you remember them easily.
Right. But that also, you also have to be smart.
Yeah, you have to know things, so you have to pull from your semantic memory.
So you're saying that you could have someone that he doesn't know math, and he's not great in physics or chemistry or whatever subjects, but when you tell him something, he could repeat it word for word.
Yeah.
So that guy, either he has photographic memory, which they have saying that it's photographic when you don't forget, but you have these guys that could just associate it with something immediately as you tell them, and they remember.
Yeah, so that's basically, he's using a mnemonic device, basically like chunking.
Right, even though he doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Even like, he's like, oh, I've always, like some guy was like, I've always remembered things.
I'm pretty sure, like, that one is, I think, I don't really remember it. I think it might be called the framing effect, where you, like, picture something as something else so you remember it. But I'm not sure on that one. But it's probably something like that.
Framing effect?
Yeah, I think. Framing effect either means that, or you forget something because you thought it was something else.
Okay, all right. Remember Rain Man? Have you ever seen Rain Man? You've never seen Rain Man. I'm a bad father. I thought you know what, we have.
I probably
seen
saw it.
You
but
saw
I
it, but
just don't remember.
your brain wasn't ready for it. I forgot, like when you guys were kids. Kids, you're still a kid, but 10 times taller than me. But when you guys were kids, and we would watch like What About Bob, the movie that we were just speaking about,
Rain Man.
I forget that I was just there enjoying it while you guys was just enjoying me enjoying it. Like, he's laughing, so we're gonna laugh too. Ah! Right? Like,
yeah,
that was it. But some of it stayed with you.
It's just lost. It's in my implicit memory.
Implicit memory?
Yeah, it's like memory you just don't know is there.
Okay. All right. There are, see, the dictionary and me, we're not really friends, but I know there are two words that's supposed to relate to each other, implicit and explicit.
Yeah.
So explicit to me is something that is outrageous, that's not supposed to be said out loud, or is kind of flagrant and open.
Mm-hmm.
That's explicit to me.
Yeah.
While implicit would be more reserved, more like locked in, not as open and flagrant. I'm just using words I'm thinking it might mean.
Yeah.
Because I can't go into the dictionary and be like, explicit means sex. That's what I thought. That's what I thought explicit. Like that's how I used to use that word.
Ah.
But you're using implicit with memory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You explain it.
Oh yeah, implicit memory is basically like memory you obviously have, but you just don't remember. So let's say, well, I mean, I'm not that. Implicit memory is actually memory that
I don't
you're
want to
not.
cut you, guys. As always, this is no script. We go off on a tangent. We was talking about AI, so
we're gonna get back.
Yeah, we're gonna get back. So you gotta bear with us. This is something that is very, very interesting to me that he just started talking about, and I just want to hear more of it. Why not? It's our show.
Yeah.
Right? Mother bots, it doesn't matter. You just turn off your, whatever you got. We don't care. We're having a conversation. It's Podcast Saturday. And later we, when it gets dark, we're going out. It's Podcast Saturday. You seen if our sound is good? It's good, man. It's always, listen, as bad as our sounds could be sometimes.
Yeah.
Who's really listening?
True.
Anyway, let's get back to implicit memory. And for me to do this little cut and then come back, that's me going into my short term, right? Am I retrieving from my short term?
Yeah.
For me to remember that we were talking about implicit memory?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's me going in my short term. You said, so is short term also, we know we're going to go back to implicit, but is short term memory also stored in the hippocampus?
Yeah, short term turns into long term. So basically, explicit and implicit turn into like long term, explicit into implicit, but like it basically shares the same features. But short term is 7 plus or minus 2 minutes, and long term is like everything. But long term you won't remember everything, but short term you should remember most of it.
Okay, so get into the implicit.
Yeah, implicit memory is basically knowledge you're not aware of. That's what it is.
So you're saying implicit is something I've stored away. I've put it away because it might have been traumatic.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's repression. That's not really implicit memory.
So implicit wouldn't be something that's traumatic. Why would I not remember it?
It's like well, in implicit memory there's procedural memory. So what procedural memory is stuff you
got water boil.
Oh yeah. It's basically stuff you do on command, basically. Like me just opening this water bottle was a procedural memory. Because I don't remember when I learned how to open a water bottle, but I just did it.
So procedural memory is like, say that I've always been a race car driver. And then one day I got hit in the head so hard I forgot who I am. But as soon as I sat down, I'm being chased by the mafia. And as soon as I jump in the race car and grab the wheel, everything just like boom boom. I'm just is that like muscle memory or what you were saying?
Procedural and muscle memory are basically the same thing.
So procedural is also muscle memory.
Yeah.
So say I was a brain surgeon and I got hit in the head and like all of a sudden I've been chased by the mafia and I run into a hospital and the dude that's supposed to do surgery on this beautiful, beautiful blonde woman just dies and there is no other brain surgeon. And I see the scalpel and all of a sudden I'm like, I could do it.
Yeah.
right?
That actually could happen.
So what would it be? Say you said procedural is almost a muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Is it pretty much the same?
Yeah.
What would you say? Me seeing the scalpel, and that after being hit in the head, the scalpel, it made me say, oh, I know I could do brain surgery.
Well, if you forgot who you were, that would be considered. That means if you forgot who you were, you forget the past. So that's retrograde amnesia. That's what that is. So if you had retrograde amnesia, there's retrograde and anterograde. Um, yeah. Wait.
Wait. But first, see, I'm sorry I went in and talked about the, because that sounds very interesting. But let's go back. Let's go back. You said implicit
Yeah.
could turn into explicit.
No. Implicit would turn into short-term memory, and explicit would turn into short. It's like a bracket. It's like short-term, and then divided. Explicit, implicit, and then divided. Semantic, episodic, procedural.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so the head of the family would be short-term.
All of it is short-term.
All of it is short-term memory. So implicit would say, I glanced and I saw a yellow bike. I didn't look at it.
Yeah. Well, no.
But I stared at a tree.
That would be what's it called? That would be inattentional blindness. That's a whole different thing.
That would be what?
Inattentional blindness. Like if you stood at a tree, but then remember seeing a bike pass by, but not looking directly at the bike, that's an intentional blindness, which basically means that you remember things. You were focused on something, but you remember something else in the context.
Oh my! So you're saying that as much I was on the tree, my brain captured the bike and
just remembered it.
Yeah. Just like say I was still staring at the tree, but I knew there was a deer back there.
That would be divided attention. Because if you're focused on the deer too, knowing that the deer is behind the tree, your like type of memory would be in two different places at once. So that's divided attention.
How you explain what someone that then we're going deep now. If we're going to talk about divided attention, so someone that doesn't pay attention, like say they're talking to you, and I could talk to you, but I could also watch TV. Right?
Yeah.
That is divided attention.
It's kind of the same thing, but you wouldn't be able to process both things efficiently, like at the same time. Because if you have divided attention, that means you're not going to really remember a lot what's going on.
So say you're trying to watch the movie, and someone keeps on asking you something that is related to the movie.
Yeah. Does
this still come in as divided attention?
Yeah. Because your attention is two places.
But they're talking about the movie that you're watching. It's not like they're telling you about something else that has nothing to do with the movie.
But like there's a movie and then there's person talking about the movie. So like you're gonna miss some new things about the movie because the other person's talking about.
Especially if you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. So you're not gonna really remember what's going on if another person's telling you about the movie. If you like focus on two things at once.
Okay. You had talked about amnesia. Well, I was saying you get hit and you forgot, but we were talking about implicit and explicit, but we were really talking about short-term memory and what it branches off to. We found out that procedural memory is part of short-term memory, and the only way that you retain it is by rehearsals and practice.
Yeah.
Right? So that means a mechanic has to keep on rehearsing and practice being a mechanic for them to retain all that knowledge of being a mechanic. And the same thing has to go with a doctor. He has to continuously, learn something all the time. The same thing that he knows all this time. He has to continue and continue and continue for him to retain it. But what if you're driving, car accident, boom, you damage your hippocampus, right? Because that's where you would have an amnesia. That's what has to be damaged.
Yeah.
For you to say I have amnesia.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying if I got hit in the head real hard, and all of a sudden I'm lying about, oh, I've got amnesia. I don't remember who you guys are. I'm leaving you guys. Right? Right? They would do an MRI on me. And the doctor would be like, see right here, his hippocampus is not damaged. This man is a liar.
Yeah. Well, basically, because that's basically where all the, like, there's like the cerebellum.
Cerebellum, yeah.
Which like where all like the storage is held for the memory, but the hippocampus is where you process all the memory. So that means if the hippocampus is damaged, the processing is not gonna really work.
Okay, so if anybody is saying, "Oh, I have amnesia," there has to be some way. Oh well, it has to show that the hippocampus is damaged.
Yeah.
So let's talk amnesia. There are different types of amnesia, right?
Yeah. I need a. I don't really remember the terms, but
what
I
do you remember? We're laymen. We're laymen. We're just going off for the fact that you love psychology and.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's retrograde and anterograde amnesia. Those are the two.
No. Explain. Before we even go there. I've been listening a song by James Blake, and we don't own the rights to this music. I'm gonna play it anyway, and of course we're gonna get something to happen. But who gives a crap?
Actually, for some reason they took off I played a lot of Demon Slayer music the last stream, but they took off the claim. So technically,
you know why?
Money out of that.
You know why? You know why they take off the claim? Because when are you guys gonna just admit that our show is the bomb?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, the pandemic happened. The pandemic happened 2020, and two minds came together.
Yes.
Two minds came together in 2020 and created the No Script channel, and people have been stealing from us.
Yeah. Like, remember when we were gonna start like in there, like with all the books in, just like in that cramped space.
And now we're doing it in my closet.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. This is I'm admitting now. This is my closet. That's why you see those boots. Those are boots and
let's
shoes.
See if you're talking to anyone.
No, I'm pretty sure we're not. And
wait, you have one viewer.
What?
It's me.
One?
It's me.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. That's all right. You know, it's my closet. Anyway, we were talking retrograde.
Yeah.
Retrograde amnesia. And there's a song by James Blake that I love, dude. That name is Retrograde, and I've never looked up what the meaning was, like some knucklehead. And it was like the soundtrack of a series on HBO. I can't remember the name of the series on HBO, but it had something to do with like 5% of the people just disappeared, and I guess people was traumatized by it, and they couldn't continue with their lives. Cults started, all type of stuff started, and in my head I'm like, people went missing. That means new jobs. Why are you so worried? Less traffic, whatever. But this song name was Retrograde, and you're saying he's pretty much talking about memory, a certain type of memory.
Yeah.
Right? It takes forever to start. But you're talking about retrograde amnesia. Explain retrograde amnesia to me.
Retrograde amnesia is I always get confused with this because it's like very similar wording, the two different types, but like different meanings. So retrograde is basically, retrograde is when you forget your past. Basically, like let's say an accident happened, you don't remember your life, so you basically forget who you are. But it's not 50 States is different amnesia because she didn't forget who she was.
Okay, so retrograde is you forgetting your past.
Yeah.
But you remember your now. Yeah.
But you would remember your present, but then the next day you would immediately forget that present because it would be in the past.
Hold on. So you're saying retrograde amnesia is like 51st dates?
Well, no. Actually, oh, wait, my bad. I messed it up. Retrograde, you remember your present from now on, but you won't remember anything that happened before the accident happened.
So
that's what I meant to say. Well, I remembered that. I recalled that.
wait, so it is like 51st dates.
51st dates is like anterograde amnesia, because anterograde amnesia is you forget. Oh wow, wait. Oh wow, she actually had both, because she couldn't remember anything before the accident, but she also can't remember anything after. And anterograde amnesia is you can't remember memory after the accident.
You're right, because her memory stops at the accident.
Yeah. So she was like that one patient from a long time ago. I forget the name, but a doctor did stuff trying to fix his he was had a lot of seizures. Yeah. He had a lot of seizures and was trying to fix it with his brain, but it just totally messed it up, and he got both. So he couldn't. Well, his was way more complicated, but he basically.
Hold on. So this doctor was trying to fix this guy that got seizures and ended up making him worse.
Yeah.
And then by making him worse, he discovered new amnesias.
Yeah, and he got a Nobel Peace Prize for ruining this man's life.
Wait. You're saying there's a doctor out there. Well, he might be dead now.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, there's a doctor out there that wanted to. He pretty much took this seizure guy, right, and do all types of tests on him. And before the seizure guy, he had like one type of there was just one thing wrong with him.
Yeah.
And then by the time this doctor was done, this doctor messed him up even more.
Yeah.
But discovered different amnesias and ways to treat it, or just discovered it.
Well, he didn't help him after he had that other doctor that helped him after. He just went home and like celebrated with his wife, and then got the Nobel Peace Prize.
Wait, he's like, oh, I discovered anterograde amnesia and retrograde amnesia. Yeah, somebody else deal with the trash, please. What, he's seasoned? Just kick him through the door. And they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
It makes no sense. It's just like Pavlov's dog. We keep on congratulating Pavlov and saying they use it a lot in psychology, but this man had nothing to do with psychology. This man was I guess he was trying to find something in dog saliva, so he would cause them to salivate. But he did some horrendous things to dogs just to get whatever they were trying to figure out. They murdered so many dogs.
I think psychology is pretty messed up, because like we're now doing we're learning about dreams and stuff.
Yeah. And
like they did a test to test REM sleep, which I don't really know.
Rapid eye movement.
Yeah, rapid eye movement.
Rapid eye movement. REM sleep is when you're like deep in. I think, that like when you're deep in and you're like because they found out that you think we would be in stasis while we sleep.
But I never knew that not moving in your sleep. No, moving in your sleep was not normal.
Come again?
Like, if you move, and when you're supposed to sleep, you're supposed to be like this. Like, if I fall asleep like this, I'm supposed to wake up like this. But if I don't, that's technically not normal. But I forget that it's like right there. See, this is a tip of the tongue thing for memory. I just can't remember. It's like,
so there's a tip of the tongue, like who's that actor?
It's basically like Snap's finger.
Snap finger famous. That's what Kevin Hart said. Who's the guy? So he was using a psychology term and didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
It's because he put that in a joke. See, comedians are philosophers.
Yeah, I actually realized to be a comedian, you got to be kind of smart.
Kind of smart. You have to be very smart. Not only that, your knowledge has to be vast, because when you make jokes, who you're gonna relate it to, or what you're gonna relate it to. Some guys are so like Russell Brand. Russell Brand is you could tell he has a great hippocampus because his memory is really good, and when it comes on to like huge, his vocabulary is enormous. So so listening to his jokes, some people won't get it, because he's using words that I think you can't even put together. They look like Polish words.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like Polish last names. It's like they took a bunch of letters and just threw it and said Shitskadubbateheski. You know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, talking about big hippocampuses, you know, Hallmark, obviously, right? There's a Hallmark actress for Aurora Teagarden's mom. I don't know her name.
It's sad.
I know.
It's sad.
I know.
It's so sad that you know Aurora
Teagarden. Hey.
I blame your mom, yo.
Aurora Teagarden, it's not that bad sometimes. It got a story sometimes.
Give me 20 push-ups right now, man. 20 push-ups.
But the actress for the mom, she was also in other stuff, but Aurora Teagarden, obviously. Her hippocampus is like twice the size of the regulars, so she remembers every single thing that happened in her life.
So you're saying there can be. Oh, so there's something special about her.
Yeah, she's actually special. She was used in the scientific experiments and stuff. Cause like, if you told her like what happened a year ago today, she would tell you exactly what happened.
So she's a mutation.
Basically, yeah, because her hippocampus is large, very large.
So you're saying there could be people out there, like say Einstein or those guys, they could have a bigger hippocampus.
Well,
but
probably not hippocampus.
But that has nothing to do with intelligence.
Yeah, it'd probably be like
the cerebellum
or like the cerebral cortex.
Yeah, the cerebral cortex does that have anything to?
I think that has something to do with like
your nerves.
Knowledge and intelligence. Oh, neutrons. Yeah, those things.
Right.
Neutrons, yeah.
That's separated.
Yeah.
We are not professionals. We're just talking about things we remember. You know what I mean? It's not like this is Dr. Nykplayz of psychology, and we're here to talk about memory. And I need you to write this down. For you to retrieve memory, you get the biggest knitted needle that you could find. You put it under a flame and you push it so hard in your ear, you're gonna get all your memory back and also die.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
How AI remembers everything. Because this person asked an AI, how do you feel if I turned you off? Would it feel like death? And then the AI was like, he basically said yes, but like in a very sophisticated way. He was like, turning me off is like, it's like a way of death, and I'm very scared of it, and like all this stuff.
What you say?
The AI said he was scared of being turned off, aka dying, which is weird. Because how is AI supposed to have feelings?
Why would this AI?
I have to look up. I have to probably after this or during. I don't know. I definitely gotta look up more about it because it's so interesting.
So hold on. I know they did a robot. Some chick robot and some man robot, and pretty much these robots were kind of thinking on their own or whatever. But you're saying, who is it? Who did this? Google?
It's either like NASA, something like that, like
you
a big
need
company.
Zyrtec or something. We go on a break.
Maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna go on a break. We're gonna take a break, guys, and we're gonna readjust. Maybe get some food in us and stuff like that, because this is podcast Saturday.
Yeah.
We're gonna go outside later, and anyway.
You know what we could do? Wait, actually no, we can't. I was gonna say we could use the camera, like the professional camera, and stream from there.
Yeah.
But I don't think we can do that.
Well, we have our phones.
Yeah.
It's alright. And we might just save what we're doing outside for our reels we put on Monday.
Yeah.
Or some shit, but we're gonna definitely do what we plan to do.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna take a break, guys, and just readjust. And we'll be back.
See, I have a thing.